Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Dvar Malchus, Royal Words by the Lubavitcher Rebbe. This Parshas Vayetze from the 9th of Kislev, 57-52. We are on page 183. Here we go. Regarding the Mittler Rebbe, the son of the Alter Rebbe and the father of the Samach Tzedek, the third Lubavitcher Rebbe. So the Mittler Rebbe was the second Rebbe after the Alter Rebbe. The one whose birthday in Yurtzeit is today, the 9th of Kislev, we find a novelty that his birthday and Yurtzeit are the same exact day. That is the 9th of Kislev. And another novelty regarding him that immediately on the day following his birthday and Yurtzeit, on the 10th of Kislev, is his holy redemption when he was freed from prison. Like every other Rebbe, he served sentences in prison. And based on what is known, that the holiday of the year have a connection to the Parsha in which they occur, it is understood that in Parsha of this Shabbos, Parshas of Vayetze, and the Parshas of Vayeshlach, which we begin reading at the Mincha prayer, and the holiday of redemption of this year is in fact the day of the week of Parshas Vayeshlach. We can find lessons connected to the one whose today is his birthday and Yurtzeit, as well as the day of his redemption tomorrow, including and mainly taking from this a lesson regarding the timely matter of this generation and this time, the true and complete redemption through Mashiach, has spoken many times recently, that now we have already completed all matters, and it is only necessary to accept Mashiach actually, literally. The novelty in the fact that the birthday and Yurtzeit of a tzaddik is on the same day is brought in the words of our sages regarding the words of Moshe Rabbeinu. 120 years old am I today, the Talmud said. Why does he say today? Today my days and years are full, to teach you that Hashem sits and fills the years of tzaddikim to the month and to the days, as the verse says. Number of your days I will complete. Simply, the meaning in this is that regarding a tzaddik, there is a completeness, that Hashem makes full the days of his life. The number of your days I will complete, he should live full, complete cycle years, from the day of his birth until the day of his passing, exact to the day. We need, however, an explanation. What is the content of the virtue and completeness of this? The completeness of service of a tzaddik is, of course, a spiritual completeness, which seemingly is not connected and not dependent on complete physical years, as known that the life of a tzaddik is not fleshy, rather spiritual life, which are belief, fear, and love of Hashem. Hence, it's understood that for a tzaddik, there can seemingly be complete service spiritually, even when his physical years are not complete to the day, as we regard most tzaddikim, that their passing was not on their birthday. And may we say that the complete service of a tzaddik is when the spiritual completeness is expressed also in physical completeness, the completeness in the time of his service and in his physical years and days. And in the wording, Hashem knows the days of the complete ones. Just as they are complete, so are the years complete. So are their years complete. And for this reason, it's because the ultimate and complete service of Torah and mitzvahs of a Jew, which of course the service of a tzaddik, the ultimate and complete service, consists of, that he should refine his physical body as such that there are no matters that are separate in his life, where his service of Hashem does not reach, heaven forbid. There is no interruption or division, no separation between his soul and his body, between his spiritual and his physical. Rather, all details of his life are permeated with the spirit of his soul and spirituality, to the degree that the physicality becomes secondary and sublime to the soul and spirituality. They make their souls the main thing and their bodies secondary, as such that the whole physicality is as a vessel and a vestment, including as a chariot, which reflects and expresses the completeness of his spiritual service. Meaning to say that although the life of tzaddik is not fleshy, rather spiritual life, Nevertheless, the completeness of his service is when the spiritual life permeates and illuminates also his physical life to the degree that the physical life are a vessel for. Moreover, a continuation and extension of the spiritual life. They become united with the spiritual life. As such, they become one, literally one person at tzaddik, which his spiritual completeness in his spiritual life expresses itself and is completely reflected in physical completeness in his fleshly life. As such, the fleshly life, there is nothing extra, nothing missing, no less and no more, in a correlating to his complete spiritual life. His flesh life, including his physical days and years, are a continuation and reflection of his spiritual life. Moreover, spiritually, through the completeness coming also into physicality, is accomplished an advantage over the spiritual completeness as it was on its own, as we will explain. And therefore Hashem sits and fills the years of tzaddikim to the day, since the completeness of service of a tzaddik permeates and is reflected also in the completeness in their physicality, correlating with the spiritual completeness, which the definition of this physical world is time and place, which is divided into days and days of a year. As the words of our sages, once Hashem chooses his world, he sets it in the heads of his mouths, and for years, and for when he chose Yaakov and his children, he set it in Rosh Chodesh of redemption, namely that the setting of the years is connected with his world, the physicality of the world, in contrast to the setting of the Rosh Chodesh of redemption, which is connected to he chose Yaakov and his children, the spiritual purpose and creation of the world, and a shana, year, an idiom for shaninu, change, and an idiom for meshana, redemption, encompasses and includes all changes of time. Therefore, the expression and completeness of the spiritual service of the tzaddik, just as they are complete, is in their years also being complete, so too their years are complete. That Hashem sits and fills their years to the day, and that every day he utilizes completely through refining the garment that corresponds to that day, as known that if one day is missing, one garment is missing, and if the day of the person are allotted accordingly to the amount of garments that he needs to complete and correct, as such that the completeness and perfection of a tzaddik is in his spirituality and in his physicality. Physical days and years equal his perfection in the physical years of his life is one continuation to the perfection of his spiritual service. Just as they are complete, so as the year is complete. And when we say that since the word of this Talmud is Hashem sits and completes the years of the tzaddikim to the day, and does not state any conditions or limitations to this applying only to certain tzaddikim, we must say that the completeness for every tzaddik is the spiritual dimensions, even for one who passes away on a different day than his birthday. However, it is understood, according to the above explanation, that the completeness is when it expresses itself in the physical days, that there is an additional completeness. Moreover, the completeness is clearly manifested specifically when it is manifested to fulfilling their years to the day in the physical days for the tzaddikim, who their days of passing is on the same day physically as their birthday. And the completeness of this was clearly manifested for the forefather, that according to the opinion that in Nisan they were born, in Nisan they passed away. And for Moshe, today my days and years are full, which on the 7th of Adar he passed away, and on the 7th of Adar he was born, in addition to his years being full, 120 years since being the first shepherd of the Jewish people, and especially Moshe, the trusted shepherd of the Jewish people. The completeness of the service of a tzaddik was expressed in them, as it reflects in my days and years are full. And similarly, this was expressed openly regarding the Midler Rebbe, the Moshe of his generation, as we will explain. By way of preference, the connection to the Parsha of the week, Vayetze and Veshlach, that we begin at Mincha, in which we find something that is a wonder. The main relation to the service of Yaakov, our forefather, in the Torah is not in the Parshas of Toldos, where it speaks about how Yaakov was in the house of his father in Eretz Yisrael, Beersheba. Rather, in the Parshas of Vayetze, where it speaks about how Yaakov left Beersheba and went to Haran, and Haran, wrath of Hashem in the world, to Lavan of Aram, and all the undesirable matters connected to this. A truly great descent, which therefore Yaakov was afraid and needed to have the promise of Hashem, and I will guard you. Moreover, specifically in Haran, Yaakov got married and established his household, almost all the tribes, the foundation of the Jewish nation. And after Yaakov ended his work for Lavan in Haran and was at the point of returning to his father's house, as he requested, and I will return in peace to the house of my father, and afterward was told by Hashem, return to the land of your father and your birthplace, instead of Yaakov fulfilling the commandment and immediately returning to Eretz Yisrael, it just shows that begins the relation of the story of Yaakov and Esau, that Yaakov sent angels in front of him to Esau, to his brother, to the land of Seir, the field of Edom, with all the details in the Parshas of Vayeshlach, and only after the Parshas of Vayeshlach does the Torah go back to relating Vayeshlev and Yaakov settled in the land of his ancestors, which seemingly the main relation of service of Yaakov as one of the forefathers who are the chariot. Moreover, the choice of the forefathers should have been about his service in holiness in Eretz Yisrael, and only in short, if at all, about his involvement with Lavan and the wicked Esau. As this is the case regarding the relation in the Torah about the service of Avram and Yitzhak, that the main story was about their service in Eretz Yisrael. And the explanation of this is based on what is known, that the actions of the forefathers are assigned for the children. It is understood that the relating in the Torah about the story of Yaakov, our forefather, with Lavan and Esau in the Parshas of Vayetze and Vayeshlach, is a sign that an instruction for the children, for the Jewish people in their own service. With the Torah relating about Yaakov, and Yaakov went out, and Yaakov sent, which this is the first time the Torah, where it speaks about the Torah at length and detail, about the service of the forefather in the word, and the Torah teaches Torah as an idiom of aora, an aora, instruction for all generations, that the ultimate service of the Jewish people is in influencing the world and teaching them also the order of the service of this in detail. And Yaakov left Beersheba and he went to Haran, expresses in general a descent of the soul of the body, the soul of every Jew. The soul that you put me in me is pure. Go out from Beersheba, the Sephriad of Bina, the source of Beer, well, the 7 attributes of Asilus, and descent into Malchus, to Haran, including the descent of Malchus into the worlds of Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya. You created it, you formed it, you blew it into me, including in this physical and material world, the wrath of Hashem, which is full of klipos, an evil side, which hide over godliness and over the holiness and spirituality of the soul, to the degree, moreover, that they can, heaven forbid, hurt a Jew, as Yaakov was afraid. And the intention in the great descent is, however, that on the contrary, a Jew, Yaakov, should overcome the concealment of the materialism of the physical world of Haran, and on contrary, specifically, there build a house among the Jewish nation to the degree of, in a manner that his children were complete, which this is then, through him a soul and a body he reveals, through fulfilling Torah and mitzvahs, the light of his soul, and through this he transforms the material into physical and makes from the physical that it should be submitted and secondary to the degree of being a vessel for the spirituality, his soul, to the degree that his physical body becomes united with his soul. As is hinted right at the beginning of the leaving and descent of Yaakov, and Yaakov left Beersheba, and he went to Haran, specifically through Haran, the descent of the soul below accomplishes that it is accomplished the phenomenon, and he went for the soul itself, as it says, I will give you goers between those who are stationary. Moreover, it says literally, and he went to Haran bound, and not to Haran, since the service below accomplishes the phenomenon of going, And he went also in the existence of Haran, the rage of Hashem itself. And therefore it does not say that he went to Haran, which would have meant only that Yaakov went to Haran. However, the going to Haran remained two separate things. Rather, he went to Haran bound, which hints that the spiritual going is also regarding the entity in the entity of Haran itself. And when we add that this is also hinted in the adding of the hay of Haran bound, and not Haran to Haran, as the words of our sages, the physical world was created with a hay, meaning that through the leaving of Beersheba and going to Haran, we reveal in Haran the hay, that is the letter hay, of the name Havaya, that is Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, reorganized so that we can pronounce it without saying the name of Hashem, with which this world was created, namely the power of godly life force, which enlivens the creation, and in the known words, the power of the Creator and the creation that we see and recognize in the creation and physicality of the world, the power of the Creator, the godly life force, to the degree that the creation is only an expression of power to the Creator, which is expressed in the image of the creation. And he approached the place, and he slept there because the sun set. And he took from the stones a place, and he put them by his head, and he lay down in that place. When the soul of a Jew descends below to be clothed in the physical body, in the physical world, olam, world, an idiom of ha'elam, concealment, right away there is the sun set, and a concealment over the revelation of the sun and its sheath representing Havaya and Elohim, which as a result of there is he laid down in that place. Havaya is representing the essence of Hashem, and Elohim represents nature, which the phenomenon of laying down denotes that the head of the person, the high level of his, is equal with the foot of a person. That is, rather, when we go back, Teva is Hashem is concealed within the laws of nature, versus Havaya, which would be a revelation of godliness. Okay, back to this. The head of the person, the high level of his, is equal with the foot of the person, the low level of his, as explained earlier, through the concealment of this physical and literal material world, which is low, moreover, the lowest regarding the concealment of the light of Hashem in double and quadruple darkness that is here in the physical world, and especially in the darkness and the night of exile, when we do not see our own wondrous signs, and especially in the time of the advent of Mashiach, when we are in a state of sleep, laying down, where the revealed powers are hidden, hence the head and foot are equal. Moreover, this low world is full of klipos, and the evil side who are against Hashem literally rebels, which therefore there must be, and he took from the stones of the place, and he was afraid of wild animals. However, specifically through the descent is accomplished the revelation and surge of power of the spiritual, the soul, also the physicality of the body, that also in a low state of, and he slept there because the sun set, and he laid down, and his head is equal to his body, hence he draws the holiness of the soul also in his body, moreover, that it becomes he laid down in a good sense, that the physical body unites with the soul, which through this is accomplished an incomparably higher perfection also in the soul, as we will explain. We will understand that by way of preference, the question, as the commentaries ask, about what the verse relates, that he approaches the place, and he laid down in that place. Seemingly, how could it be that specifically in that place, the place of the base of Migdash, Yaakov laid down to sleep? For although that the sun suddenly set before its time in order that he will sleep there, yet the sages say on the words that he laid down to sleep in that place itself, here he laid down. However, all the 14 years that he was submerged in the yeshiva of Aver, did he not lay down to sleep, for he was occupied in Torah. Here he slept. However, all 20 years he was in the house of Lavan, he did not lay down to sleep. And specifically when staying overnight in the place of the base of Migdash, Yaakov laid down to sleep. From this itself is understood that the laying down is also a positive manner, moreover, a truly high phenomenon. And this phenomenon was revealed specifically in the place of the base of Migdash. And may we say that the explanation of this, the difference in the physical sense between standing, sitting, or laying down is, when standing or even sitting is clearly the difference between the top portion, the head in the middle of the person, and the lower portion, the foot, that is the high, which is the low, whereas the person sleeps, his top portion and lower portion are equal. And in a spiritual sense, the top portion of the person expresses the spiritual content and essence, and the lower portion of this expresses mainly his physicality. From this it's understood that although apparently the idea of laying down, whereupon spirituality is equal to the lower physicality, is a very great descent from the perspective of revelations, nevertheless, indeed, in the root of the innermost of the matter, there is in this a truly high advantage, that specifically in this state is the upper together with the lower completely equal, which this extends from the revelation of the essence of Hashem, which begins completely higher than the definitions of above and below. Both of them for him are literally truly equal, similar to what is known that the simplicity of the simple person, which the intellect of the head is not radiant in him, is connected to the simplicity of the essence of Hashem. And this continues afterward also when he stands up from the state of lying down, that also where the definition and difference between above and below are evident, that this is upper and this is lower, is drawn and revealed the essence of Hashem, which then the content of the difference between upper and below is only in their appearance. However, in essence, they are one and the same content, the revelation of the essence of Hashem. Meaning that in the service of a Jew in his leaving Beersheba and going to Haran, there are two aspects. One, in addition to the overpowering of the revelation of the spirituality over the concealment of the physicality, as such that the physicality is not hiding over it, rather it is a vessel for spirituality, which then the physicality is in on its own. In a definition, it is still concealment over spirituality. It's accomplished by, two, the unity of physicality and spirituality to be equal. Also, they are in their defined existence through the revelation of the essence of Hashem that is higher than both of them. Based on this, we will understand the conduct of Yaakov and he slept in that place, since on the contrary, specifically due to it being the place of the base of Migdash, which there was later the ultimate and complete drawing and revelation of godliness, including the revelation of the essence of Hashem in the base of Migdash, and especially in the Holy of Holies, where there was the ark, which its place did not take up space. This brought he laid down to sleep in a good sense, that the complete union of below and above through the revelation of the essence of Hashem. And this is what the verse continues right after this. And he dreamt, and behold, there was a ladder standing on the ground, and its head reached the heaven, and behold, the angels of Hashem were going up and down it, and behold, Hashem was standing up over him. The union of the ground and the heaven through the essence of Hashem, and automatically all the angels were also there. I mean, we say that this is also the explanation in the inner dimension of why, upon Yaakov awakening from his sleep, he said, "Indeed, there is Hashem in this place, and I did not know." The revelation of Havaya, the name of Hashem, referring to his essence, are higher than the concept of knowing, since knowing is the category of upper. Knowing is connected to the intellect that is in the head, which is recognized and revealed when one is standing or sitting. Whereas from the perspective of the essence of Hashem, above and below are literally equal, as mentioned above. And in continuation to this, and he was afraid, and he said, "How awesome is this place! There is none other than the house of Hashem, a house and dwelling for Hashem, which one who lives in a dwelling is revealed, there is his entire essence." And after this, after erecting the monument, brought Yaakov to swear, including the final statement, "All that you will give me, I will tithe for you." Though the revelation, the essence of Hashem, is revealed that all you give me physically and spiritually together is on the level of I will tithe, the separate of Keser. Moreover, for you, for the essence being that the whole existence of all you give me is only for you, the revelation of the essence of Hashem. Based on the above, we will understand the phenomenon that he took from the stones in place, and he put them by his head and laid down in that place. On the words, "and he put them on his head," Rashi explains, he made them like a marzev, round pipe around his head, because he was afraid of wild animals. They began to fight with one another and said, "This tzaddik should put his head on me," and the other one said he should place his head. Immediately Hashem made them into one stone. That is, the stones were arguing with each other. Although seemingly what does a rounded pipe around his head can help, Can't the wild animals bother the rest of his body? The commentaries explain that in truth the intention of Rashi is that Yaakov surrounded his entire body with stones, which therefore is precise in his wording, marzev, which this is the name of the small pipe that comes out of the drain pipe. The marzev is only used when there is a draining pipe. We still need, however, to understand, based on the above, why does the verse and also Rashi emphasize he put it by his head. Regarding the whole idea, how does making a marzev save him from wild animals? Wild animals can jump over a marzev, as obvious. And we may say that the explanation of this from the perspective of Hasidic teachings, the action of Yaakov that he took from the stones of the place he put them by his head, was a spiritual service that he drew and revealed in his physical existence the light of the soul in great strength, which this is the content of the soul's strength. And when in the physical essence is revealed in a true existence, the soul, the concealment of the physicality, becomes dormant, and as a result the wild animals cannot damage Yaakov. And since the place where the godly service rests in the mind of the head, and from there it spreads to all limbs, therefore the main revelation and strength of the soul and spirituality stones is specifically in the mind, that it is in the head by his head. Hence Rashi continues that they began to fight with one another. This one said, the tzaddik should put his head on me, and this one said he would want his head should be placed on him. The quarrel was, that the commentaries explain, between the stones that were part of the marzev, which were around his head, with the stones of the draining pipe, which were around his body, and the content of the fight was that on me the tzaddik should place his head, meaning that the strength and concept of the stones, the revelation of the holiness in the portion of the body of Yaakov, should be as the strength of stones of the revelation in the portion of the head of Yaakov, the place where godly soul rests. Immediately Hashem made them into one stone. The revelation of the strength of the holiness stones became the same in the portion of the head of Yaakov and the portion of the body of Yaakov, the ultimate and complete bond, the union of above and below as one stone, through the revelation of the essence of Hashem, which then there was, and he laid down in that place, the head and the foot becoming equal. And obviously there is no room at all for the wild animals to do damage, just the opposite. And since the revelation of the essence of Hashem comes through the descent below, since the revelation of godliness in the upper indeed also extends from the level of revelation, and specifically the below, being that it is in the category of concealment, it arouses the revelation of essence of Hashem, which is not limited to the confines of hidden and revealed. Therefore, the true strength of the holiness and revelation of the essence of Hashem is accomplished specifically through stones, the category of inanimate. And this afterward becomes a monument. And this stone that I place for a monument will be a house for Hashem, a house and dwelling for Hashem. Blessed be He for His essence. Based on the above, it's understood that the special power that Yaakov had coming to Haran, which through this he was able to overpower the concealment of Haran, moreover bond and unite above and below, soul and body, through the revelation of the essence of Hashem. And being that this innovation is accomplished through the descent to Haran, therefore Yaakov established the 12 tribes of Hashem specifically in Haran, including in a manner of his children were complete. And to add that, based on the above, it's understood the precise wording of our sages, his bed, his children, was complete, and not his children or the like. Also an idiom of the concept of mata, lo, that also the mata, lo, is complete. Moreover, that also in a state of lying down, and the mitta, bed, which then is his head, body, and foot are equal, he revealed how this is his bed is complete, and the completeness in the revelation of the essence of Hashem, which makes equal small and big, which this is accomplished specifically in Haran. Lo, the actions of the forefathers are assigned for the children, and becoming equal of his upper portion and his lower portion, as such that also mateh, in the wording of the verse regarding Moshe, mateh, staff of Hashem in his hand, which through this is he accomplishes all the signs and wonders in the land of Mitzrayim, Egypt, an idiom of Metzer, constraint, boundaries, that from Metzer I called out to Hashem, because answer me in abundance, O Hashem. The revelation of the essence of the essential broadness of the essence of Hashem, since the complete refinement of the below is specifically through the revelation of the essence of Hashem, which transcends above and below the simplicity of the essence of Hashem, which is connected and united with the simplicity of the Jew and the known wording. The Jewish people and Hashem are one, as spoken at length in the previous Hasidic gatherings. Since the main service of Yaakov in Haran that is related to the Parshas of Vayetze was regarding himself, the revelation and the union of the soul and the body, his bed was complete, and of course the accomplishment must be complete also regarding the physical world. Hence we come therefore to the Parshas of Vayeshlach. Yaakov sent angels in front of him to Esau, his brother, to the land of Seir, to the field of Edom, which speaks mainly about the refinement of the world of Esau through Yaakov. It is explained in Hasidic teachings that Yaakov is the aspect of Tikkun, and Esau is the aspect of Tohu. And Yaakov sent angels to Esau since he calculated Esau was already refined. Hence there can be the union of many lights and vessels of Tohu Esau with the lights and many vessels of Tikkun, which is the completeness of the refinement of the physical world, that he becomes a vessel, moreover, united in a true union with the spirituality through the revelation of the essence of Hashem, which is higher than Tohu and Tikkun, which is therefore revealed into the confines of Tohu and Tikkun, that their entire content is the revelation of the essence of Hashem, which extending from this they are literally one. Only actually Esau was not ready yet then, which then is specifically in the true and complete redemption, as the verse says, until I will come to my master to Seir. And when will he go? In the days of Mashiach. As the verse said, saviors will ascend the mountain of Sion to judge the mountain of Esau. These two parshas mentioned above, Vayetze and Vayeshlach, in the service of Yaakov our forefather, which they are in the first place in the Torah, which is explained in the order of the service below, expresses the content and purpose of the service of general service of the Torah mitzvahs, and especially after the giving of the Torah, to refine the physicality of the body and the world and make it a vessel for the spirituality of the soul, to the degree that the physicality itself reveals the power of the Creator in the creation and becomes one entity and one continuation of spirituality, including a dwelling for Him. Blessed be He in the lowest realm for Him, for His essence, as will be accomplished in the complete revelation in the true and complete redemption, which then the physicality of the body and the world will be refined, and they will be able to receive the revelation of the light of Hashem, and the glory of Hashem will be revealed, and all the flesh together will see that the mouth of Hashem spoke, and the flesh itself will see godliness, since there will be the complete revelation of the power of the Creator in the creation, including on the contrary, the stone from the wall will cry out, the physical creation, inanimate, stone, vegetation, and animal, and most certainly the body of a person, the physicality of the world itself, which through it is revealed the power of the essence of Hashem, will reveal with an outcry the spiritual power of the Creator and the will of Hashem, and the whole world, similar to the female representing physicality, will transcend the male representing spirituality, and the soul will receive its nourishment from the body. This very purpose of Torah mitzvahs in general, to accomplish the bond of spirituality and physicality, became even stronger through the revelation of the Hasidic teachings, which its content is to accomplish and reveal the bond of the union of godliness and the world through the revelation of the innermost of the Torah. The hidden aspect of the Torah, as it was revealed in the Hasidic teachings, is accomplished the union of the deep aspect of Hashem with the deep aspect of the Jewish people, and this gives the power to transform the below, the physicality of the world, that it becomes a vessel for the revelation of godliness of the revealed aspect of Hashem, and also of the deep aspect of Hashem, and especially through the revelation of Chabad Hasidic teachings, which this reveals the essence of the deep part of Torah, which brings godliness and investment in comprehension of wisdom, understanding and knowledge in a manner that we gain greatly from it, understood also in human intellect, which is created, formed, and made, including also the intellect of the animal soul. Haran includes also the intellect of the nations of the world, Asaph, and the known world. Disseminate your wellsprings outward, that the wellsprings of Hasidism, the Baal Shem Tov themselves should be spread to the degree of disseminate in the outside, including outward, that there be no further outward than it, and also the nature of the world, and also the outside should be a vessel. Moreover, unite with godliness. And we may say that therefore the main revelation of the Hasidic teaching is in the month of Kislev, as known that Kislev, the third month, the winter month, corresponds, that is connected to the months of Sivan, the third month of the summer month, which Torah is connected to the giving of the Torah, the month of Sivan. The third month is in the time of the giving of the Torah, the relation of the revealed part of the Torah, and the month of Kislev, the third month, the winter, in the time of the revelation of the deep part of the Torah. In this month, there are several special days in the historic dates of Hasidut. The 19th of Kislev, the holiday of the redemption of the Alter Rebbe, the founder of Chabad Hasidic doctrine, in addition to it being the yurtzeit of the Maggid of Mizrach as the Hasidic Rosh Hashanah, has known that then after Petersburg began the main phenomenon of spreading your well springs outward. The 9th of Kislev, the birthday and yurtzeit of the second leader of Chabad, the Mittler Rebbe. The 10th of Kislev, his holiday of redemption, and also Hanukkah at the end of the month of Kislev, has a connection with the revelation of the deep part of the Torah and the outside, because the main miracle of Hanukkah is the miracle of jug of the oil, which oil of the Torah is the secret of the Torah, and we must light it as an essence of his house outside, in a manner of the revelation of the secret of his house should shine through the essence of his house also outside. The explanation of this, the connection of Kislev to the revelation of the deep part of the Torah, the difference between the month of Kislev, the third in the winter month, and Sivan, the third in the summer month, is the winter months are the days of rain, when we say he makes wind blow and brings down the rain, which rain is connected with the service of man below, as the verse says, for Hashem did not make it rain on the earth, and there was no person to work the earth, and the mist would come up from the earth and water the entire face of the earth, whereas the days of the summer month, which follow after the days of rain, are connected mainly to the content of dew, which comes up from above. Dew never stops. Which comes from above. Dew never stops. Specifically in the content of rain, which comes to the service of the below in the Geshem, rain, also an idiom of Geshemius, Gashmius, physicality of the world, is emphasized. The complete bond of above and below, and the mist would rise from the earth ascends from below to above, a mist, a fine element, which this shows that it is connected and relative to the confines of below, and the water, the face of the whole earth. From above to below, the rain descends from the clouds of heaven above, however, in the manner of water, the face of the whole earth, they soak the whole land and the whole physicality, and also the panini, face of the earth, the panemius, innermost of the physical land, as the nature of the liquid water is that the matter that it touches gets completely soaked with the liquid, which this is the content of the innovation of water, refers to Torah in general, and especially the revelation of the Hasidic teachings in the month of Kislev, to permeate in the intellect of the created man and the entity of the physicality of the world with godliness, the pure water of knowledge. Know the God of your Father, to the degree of, in a manner that it is all liquid, that a whole world physicality is completely permeated and soaked with godliness, spirituality. The earth is full of knowledge of Hashem, as the water covers the sea, as will be revealed in the true and complete redemption, which comes through spread your well springs outward. And may we say that this is also hinted in the word Kislev, the letters of the Kes Lamed Vav, and the level of godliness that are Kes, meaning covered, Chusa, hidden on their own, coming from the deep aspect of Hashem, that they are revealed below in the Lamed Vav, the numerical value of LA, these, which notes the complete revelation of the attributes of the person, which are divided into 6 times 6, the complete revelation of the attributes in detail, 6 times 6, Lamed Vav. In the revelation of the Hasidic teachings in the month of Kislev itself, the union of the spirituality and physically is accomplished, especially through the manner of the revelation of the Hasidic teachings by the Mittler Rebbe. It is known that the revelation of the Hasidic teaching was in an organized manner, that each of the Rebbes of our leaders revealed and accomplished another stage and path in the revelation, befitting the order of the revelation of a new insight, although who can mix in his mind the differences between the luminaries of Hasidim. However, the Rebbes, our leaders themselves, reveal the levels. The Alter Rebbe is the level of wisdom of Hasidic teachings. He revealed the master in Hasidic teachings in a matter of that in a matter of a point. After this, the Mittler Rebbe, the level of understanding, brought about the point of wisdom with lengthy explanations and understanding comprehension to the degree of a wide and broad, the broadness of a river of understanding, analogous to the water of the river understanding, which is drawn the well wisdom only, that the river that they broaden and spread out, as we see in his Hasidic discourses, that the idea of the Hasidic teachings of the Alter Rebbe became out by him in a vast revelation, widespread and broad, in order to accomplish with completeness the union of the intellect with the matter being studied, that in our case the union of the intellect of the person with the knowledge of Hashem through the study of Hasidic teachings. It is necessary that in addition to the grasping of the point of wisdom, one should also have the understanding of Bina, understanding in a broad manner. And similar, it is also understood regarding the union of spirituality and physicality, godliness and the world, which is accomplished through the Hasidic teachings, that the completeness, this is accomplished through that there be, in addition to wisdom, there also understanding, as was expressed in the fleshly life of the Mittler Rebbe, as also known the words of the Psalmic Tzedek about him, had once cut the finger of my father-in-law, blood would not come out, rather Hasidic teachings, namely that his physical life is blood, the blood in his soul itself was Hasidic teaching spirituality. And when we say that the reason for this is because the broadness of the river of the understanding is not only an extension that and lower than the point of wisdom, rather because it comes from the root of understanding, which is higher than wisdom, in the essence broadness. Therefore it has the power to connect spirituality and physicality, being higher than both of them. And on the contrary, the revelation of the essential broadness comes specifically through the service below. From the constraint, I called out to Hashem, he answered me in abundance, O Hashem, as mentioned above. And when we say that this is also the hint in the way that he is referred to the Mittler Rebbe. Mittler denotes that he comes between first and third and connects both. The Mittler Rebbe, being on the level of understanding, unites the leader before him, the leader after him, the Alter Rebbe wisdom and the Psalmic Tzedek knowledge, as such that in him is included the three heads, the father of Hasidim, corresponding to the Chabad, Bina, and Das, since in him is expressed the general accomplishment of the revelations of Chabad Hasidim to bond godliness with the world. Based on this, it's understood why, specifically regarding the Mittler Rebbe, we find the novelty and completeness that his physical days of his life were complete to the day that he passed away on the day he was born, the 9th of Kislev, since in him is emphasized the bond of spirituality and physicality, which is a result of the power of the essence of Hashem, the essence of broadness, that the completeness in the spiritual service is expressed and soaked, and that it watered the whole face of the earth. Also his physical days and years, also that they are perfect and complete. He fills their years to the day. According to this, we may say that the reason why the day, the 9th of Kislev, is also the Erev in preparation for the 10th of Kislev, his holiday of redemption, that he was set on his that was set on a holiday on the first anniversary of his redemption, that day after he passed away, since the complete bond of the completeness of the service of the tzaddik in spirituality with the completeness and physicality in days and years is an appropriate preparation, which gives immediately to the power of the accomplished and phenomena of the redemption regarding spreading the well springs outward. It's known that the redemption of the Mittler Rebbe, similar to the redemption of the Alter Rebbe, is mainly a redemption regarding the spreading of the well springs of Chassidus outward, regarding which there was a previous attempt of objection above, that even in comparison to the manner of the revelation of the Hasidic teachings of the Mittler Rebbe, in a matter of broadness of the river until his imprisonment and redemption, there was added in itself a redemption that breaking through the bounds beyond limits, which adds new power to the degree of incomparably higher ones, to unite the upper realms and the lower realms, similar to the innovation and the nullification of the degrees separating the upper realms and the lower realms at the giving of the Torah, which was openly regarding the reveal of the part of the Torah, including moreover that the redemption of the 10th of Kislev becomes a beginning and instruction to the redemption of the 19th Kislev, the Hasidic Rosh Hashanah, and to add that there is even more emphasis on the calendar layout of this year, when the 9th of Kislev occurs on the day of Shabbos. On the day of Shabbos, the spiritual holiness of the pleasure of Shabbos, that is above the world, is drawn into the physicality of a Jew in eating and drinking and sleeping due to the mitzvah to imbue pleasure in it with the pleasure of eating and drinking and sleeping on Shabbos is a pleasure to the degree that the extra soul which is attained on Shabbos accomplishes a change also in the nature of the animal soul, including in the nature of the body, the physical body, and also the physicality of the world. All the above spoken is pertinent to the generation of the Jewish people, and most certainly to the generation in our time, which, according to all the signs and words of the sages, in tractates Sanhedrin, in the Midrash, and in other places, we are literally about to have the redemption, and has spoken many times recently, that after the great abundance of our deeds and service throughout the generations, and especially after the service of the Rebbes of our leaders, beginning with the father of Chassidim, and their days of the redemption on the 9th of Kislev and the 10th of Kislev, and their birthdays, and their yurtzites on the 9th of Kislev and the 24th of Tetvas, and since then already has gone by several generations and years, including the service of my revered father-in-law, the Rebbe, leader of our generation, we have completed all the fundamentals, including also the refinement of Esau, Adam, and most certainly this is also since even in the time of Yaakov already was of the opinion and thought that Esau was ready for a refinement from the perspective of the level of Yaakov. This was actually the case, as mentioned earlier. So certainly after the vast majority of service since then, Esau is already completely refined, as we see also in the conduct of the nations of the world who are descendant of Esau of Edom in the present time, in the exile of Edom, who conducts himself in a manner of the kingdom. So to this conduct spreading also to other countries, as we have seen, especially recently. It is understood now that we already are in a state in the physical body, and even the physical world is already completely refined and is ready vessel for all the lights and spiritual matters, including and mainly the light of Mashiach, the light of the true complete redemption, including also for the revelation of the simplicity of the essence of Hashem, as it is revealed in the simplicity of the essence of Mashiach, which is higher than the level of Yechida, and all the names, levels, and effluxes. And through that is revealed in the simplicity of every Jew. And the only thing that is missing, that a Jew should open his eyes well. He will see how everything is already ready for the redemption. We already have the laden table, we already have the Leviathan and the wild ox and the garden wine, and the Jewish people are already sitting at the table of their father, the King of all kings, Hashem, together with Mashiach, as it says in the great Jewish works, that in every generation there is one person from the descendants of Yehuda, who is befitting to be Mashiach. And in our generation, the leader of our generation is my revered father-in-law, the Rebbe. And after 40 years from the passing of my revered father-in-law, the Rebbe, we already have also the heart to know, the eyes to see, the ears to hear. Now it is only necessary, as mentioned, to open the heart to know and open the eyes to see, open the ears to hear, and likewise utilize all the physical 248 limbs and the 365 sinews, in addition to the study of Torah and the fulfillment of mitzvahs in general. The 248 positive commandments corresponds to the 248 limbs, and the 365 negative commandments that corresponds to the 365 sinews for the study of the deep part of Torah, as was revealed in the Hasidic teachings and the fulfillment of the instructions of the Rebbes, our leaders, including learning about matters of redemption in a manner that should open the heart, eyes, and ears, that we will understand, see, and hear simply, literally, in the physicality of the world, the true and complete redemption in actuality, literally, and study the Torah insights of Mashiach, the deep part of the Torah, in a manner of seeing which all of this is readily available. We only need to open our eyes, and then we will see it. And in a simple words regarding literal action, being that the union of the soul and the body, spirituality and physicality is already existent in completeness, as explained above, and all is ready, prepared for the redemption. We need to do things that will reveal this in actuality, literally, and first and foremost in a timely manner on the birthdays when his model intensifies, and the day of the yurtzeit in the Mitzvah Rebbe, in the day of the yurtzeit of the Mitzvah Rebbe, to study in the study of his Torah insight, specifically in a manner of the broadness of the river of understanding which bonds spirituality and physicality, as explained above in length. And this learning is relevant for all Jews, men and women, as spoken many times, that the study of Hasidic teachings and spreading the wellsprings outward is relevant, obviously, also to Jewish women and daughters, and especially that through this the Master King Mashiach comes. And great is study, for it brings to action, and to express this in actual action and service learned from the Mittler Rebbe, which regarding him, his complete service and Hasidic teachings was revealed in the physicality of the body and the world and the time and place for fulfills their years to the day, that regarding every person there should be a special effort to expose and reveal his spirituality and Hasidim in his physicality, that his physical manners and physical time and space should be evident, and warmth and liveliness of his Judaism of Hasidim, to the degree that there is no separation between them at all. Rather, they are one thing literally. Additionally, we should arrange in every place Hasidic gatherings, beginning with the holiday and redemption of the 10th of Kislev, and speak about the study there, the Torah insights of the one whose redemption it is, and take good resolutions in the above mentioned matters, including also resolutions to make the appropriate preparations to organize Hasidic gatherings and big gatherings on the 19th of Kislev, the holiday of the redemption of the Alter Rebbe, and to see to do this in a truly every place throughout the world, including that every corner of the world, the physicality of the world where there are Jews found, should be permeated with Hasidic luminaries and warmth of the 19th of Kislev, the Hasidic Rosh Hashanah. And in this matter, we should also continue the Hasidic gatherings during the month of Kislev, and especially in the special days connected to the Hasidic teachings and the way of Hasidim, including also at the end of the month Kislev to make Hasidic gatherings during the days of Hanukkah, and in the spirit of illuminating one's self and one's surrounding with the Hanukkah flames on the entrance of his house outside, and in a manner of continuous advancing and shining from day to day, including as the custom of the Rebbes of the leaders, including as the custom of the Rebbes, our leaders, to make parties with the household in the day of Hanukkah and distribute Hanukkah gelt to the household, and especially the children, boys and girls, which, when everyone fulfills this custom, exposes appropriately, and what more, with addition and abundance through the adding and giving truly a lot of Hanukkah gelt, which through this is added to the joy of children, one becomes even more connected through the fulfillment of his custom with the Rebbes, our leaders, with which this gives even more power to infuse their Torah insights, instructions, and customs in one's own daily life, including and especially also the Jewish custom, which is continuously spread more in our times, to study matters of redemption and matters of Mashiach in order to prepare oneself and others for the revelation of the true and complete redemption as mentioned above. And may we say it, and may it be the will of Hashem that from speaking about this and taking good resolutions in these matters now, this should already immediately bring out the true and complete redemption through Mashiach in a revealed way to the fleshy eyes of every Jew and to all the Jewish people, and literally immediately all the Jews go with the clouds of heaven, together with our deeds and service, together with all the physical possessions, their silver and their gold with them, together with the houses of the small migdashes and also the personal houses. Hence, certainly all will go with their own goodwill, which are all completely permeated with the light of Hasidism and the holiness of the soul, as mentioned above. And I will rest in your midst in our holy land in Jerusalem, the holy city, to the holy mountain, and the third base of Migdash. And when we say that the houses of the small Migdashes and the personal houses that are a taste of the small Migdash will connect and become stuck to the sanctuary that your hands established, O Hashem, in the Holy of Holies, where there is found the Shesia stone, which from the world was founded. Moreover, mainly, literally, immediately. Thank you for watching. Sei gebencht.